the Matt Stafford trade has gone official, right? Do we have a graphic element on this?
We do.
Okay, and I do, because I want to take a look at this. We haven't had a chance to do this now with the draft having come and gone. Let's get it out there. What the official return for Matt Stafford in the Matt Stafford trade goes down in the books as the Lions got Jared Goff, Pro Bowl quarterback last year, Melifonwu, Jameson Williams, Josh Paschal, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Broderick Martin, all in return for Matthew Stafford. And there's a couple of different avenues. And D-Mac, first off, let me address the one that I saw the most chatter about, just on the different social media channels. For me, the return is a good return. Number one, because I would contend the quarterbacks have just about they're in the same ballpark as each other, right? As far as performance that they've had with their new teams, just about the same. The Super Bowl thing is different, and it doesn't count. I'm not concerned with the Rams winning a Super Bowl. That doesn't play into it for me. It doesn't, because that's not apples to apples. Where the Rams were with their roster, how they were set to go. So for me, I like the return that they got. You paid less money to a quarterback, got about the same performance, and as you go into the future here, are you counting on Matt Stafford to ever return to the level that he was before? I'm not. Where are you at with the Matt Stafford return?
I see that, and I look at it totally different. Because I look at it like it can end up being a win-win. Right now, it's looking to be a win-win for both franchises.
I don't care what the Rams got. I don't care.
No, that's your good. Go ahead how you judge it. I don't see it that way. Yeah, I look at this and I look differently and look at that. Okay, if you're saying, am I looking at what the return I got for one guy? Like I'm saying the Rams, they did business. They got everything they wanted to the point they were at a different point that he was a finishing piece to get them over the end. They didn't care what it was, right? If I'm looking at it, is it a win? To me, it's a win-win for both. Do I like the return that I got for the one guy that spent his career here that was a first-rounder? Yeah, because I've seen other first-rounders, career Hall of Fame guys retire with no compensation to it. So right now, it's the greatest deal. Again, Brad Holmes showing a different level in a trade how he cooks. Now, the list again, if you look at it, the guys that were just drafted, the Gibbs, the Laporta, the Martins. So, now, time will tell, but what the expectations are is right now looking at it is it's a win-win. Why? To me, that's what I look for in transactions is how do they benefit each other. So if I'm keeping score, I like my return. I think it gets me to where I want to be. You said it yourself. Teams are in different points. We just got done talking the first segment about where Philadelphia was compared to us. No, along the way of the rebuild, we need all these pieces to make what we need. And congratulations. I'm glad it worked for the Rams. It just, for future worth. You're right. It doesn't matter if they won, they lost, they didn't do it. The return there, but it shows you for the one player. To me, I look at it because he was our first rounder, because we had all our eggs in his basket for so many years, because, for whatever else, because we've lost guys in the past under regimes to just retire for nothing. So to me, that's why I look at fireworks, win.
Explosives.
Explosions. Big E says,
yeah, not
see, and here's
that's what we do here in Detroit. We don't shut off little beep 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 in Arizona. Here we drop bombs. This is Neal.
See, here's my problem with this line of thinking. I'm not saying you, D-Mac. I'm saying this line right here from Big E. One's won a Super Bowl, one hasn't made the playoffs. Well, you know what? The first year that one was with his team, the biggest free agent acquisitions he had was Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins for $19 million. With one caveat, they weren't on the team anymore. That's not justified. That's not a justifiable outcome to come to when you look at it and you analyze it. When you put that graphic up there on the screen, there is no doubt, especially given the forward trajectory of Matt Stafford, where he's going to be, there is no doubt that the Lions won that trade. I don't care that the Rams won a Super Bowl. That doesn't impact me. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't hinder me. That's the return right there. I'll roll with that. Because we saw Jared Goff have a Pro Bowl year last year. And as Robert Colosio says, Stafford was hurt all year last year, like he was the 4 years prior with us. That's what it is. It's not the Rams trade. It's Matt Stafford and the return the Lions got. And it was something that had to have been done. You can't look at it in a vacuum like that and say, well, Jared Goff didn't make the playoffs. No one's making the playoffs when Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers are taking up $20 million of your cap. Nobody is. That's what had to be done. And they did as well as you could do given the circumstances. And they got Jared Goff back. Who, look, you can say what you want. And Rex and Spenny, that's why I give you credit. You don't let emotion grip you. It is a factual statement. Jared Goff was a Pro Bowl level quarterback last year. You've said it.
Yes.
You want to see it again? I got no problem with that.
Alternate.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
100%. But that's what it was.
Show us.
He showed us. Like, that's what I can't live in that. What happened for the Rams? What did the Rams do? I don't care. That graphic tells me that that's a good return. I don't care what happened to the Rams.
Filling the needs. And if you look at the graphic, I mean, really, I don't think it's indetermined yet. Isn't it? Because we got to see these guys play. Mm-hmm. Now, the stats look good. The names look good. Stuff like this. But we got expectations. I want to see Josh Pascal healthy. And then you got to see all these young guys. But with what Jared Goff did and what he provided to your team, right? And it was rocky at different points. But the way that it battled through and the fact that, Holmes that's his guy. So that's where we're at. Are you happy with it? I think it's that. The story's not over, right? This is just another chapter. Ends another chapter that the names have been filled in. We got to wait and see, but I'm happy with the return and everything works out. What happens if, from now on, everything, nobody plays out? None of these guys.
How's it trending for the Rams? And look, somebody talks about that too.
But they still have to see. That's where I disagree with you, because in this, they got what they needed. But it's why can't it be a win-win? Why's it got to be, I won this and you won that, and it's a power struggle instead of they got what they needed, we got what we needed, and hopefully it's what we need to move forward.
I'm going to take a page out of D-Mac's book right here, because I'm a Lions fan, and all I give a shit about is what we got. All right. And I like what we
Lions
got.
There it is. That's all that matters. But the book's not done. This is the chapter's over. I don't think the book's closed just because you got the names there. Still got to play out.
And Spenny, I know, because I brought this up to you, and I think you and I vibe on this point a little bit, and it gets glossed over because I never hear anybody ever talk about it except for me and you. That Rams-Niners conference championship game. Mm-hmm. About 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I forget the defensive back for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Pass hits him in the chest. He drops it.
Yeah, right in the chest.
He catches it.
And game over. Rams
game
don't get
over.
to the Super Bowl.
Like, that's how fine the line is. And that, you know what? That was fortunate.
Yeah.
That was a fortunate. But you have to be fortunate to win a Super Bowl.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah, as I've always said, like, everyone thinks like it's this line of domination, and you just go out there and win the championship, and you're never challenged or anything like that. Like, even D-Mac was a part of the greatest hockey teams of all time. They have moments of trials and tribulation in every single playoff run. Mm-hmm. Even when they had 1,300 Hall of Famers on the team and one mid-player, as Sam Flannel would say. Even when they had that as a roster, it didn't. There were always moments of trepidation. The UNLV, that team that beat Duke by 30, almost lost to Ball State.
Yeah.
They were lucky to win.
That's what happens.
That is exactly
Everybody
what happens.
has to get lucky at some point in a playoff run. Or there's always one of those moments where it's like, oh, this could end. Oh, no. Like, look at the Chiefs last year, like that holding call. That changed the game. The Eagles would have had the ball driving with, 2 minutes left if it wasn't for that holding call. A chance to win the game. Instead, they had the ball driving with 40 seconds left.
Chris in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jared Goff was 26 when he was traded to the Lions, only a year older than Mr. Hooker right now. With what's been put around him, it's been an impressive progression from 3 to 9 wins. And that's true. Even the biggest hater has to say that. They absolutely do. But for me, yes, the Lions won the trade because they got what they needed. And they're on the way. And those pieces. There will be, now look, in that graphic, there'll be 2 guys that flop.
Iffy. More than likely, Iffy.
Yeah. The math says there'll be 2 guys that flop, and there'll be 2 guys that'll be good. what happens with the middle guys? That's like life, right?
Well, you want one. You got to have greatness. And here's the one thing: when you look at the specific player, you were done with this player. You sort of tapped out to whatever it was. That's why I say it was a win-win to be able to get rid of them and replenish it and be happy when the names are where the draft picks were going to be. Instead of now, it's not just the second-round pick and this other first-round pick and number pick 18. These are the faces, the names, and the guys that you have. Now you can determine. But I think that the big thing, Neal, is are you happy with your return sitting here right now as we close and see the next chapter of them actually playing and showing, hey, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you know what they have going for them, though? Brad Holmes drafted them. So you know what? Your bust theory might only be one because of the Holmes effect, right?
Sure. No, absolutely.
Instead of the odds. And that's what we have because what does he prove? That each draft class makes it on the field.
And this is fair, too. Brandon Katz says the Lions draft this year will determine whether or not they won the Stafford trade. And that is fair.
Yeah, that's
fair.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's wait and see.
Just like I don't have to wait and see.
But you got to be happy. But that's all you want. You want to say, like, I don't care what anybody else does. You want to take the DMAC page or whatever. Is that? Are you happy? Yeah.
This isn't media or fans doing this. This is what's going on. PFF Bet tweeted out yesterday. The Lions have the 4th most bets on BetMGM to win the Super Bowl. How about this? BetMGM says that 8.3% of the overall Super Bowl handle, i.e. 8 cents of every dollar that somebody bets to win the Super Bowl on BetMGM has been bet on the Lions.
Unbelievable.
8% of the money. How much money you think like people are betting on teams to win the Super Bowl? It's a fairly popular bet, right, Sam Flannel?
Billions.
Yes. 8% of that billions is being bet on your Detroit Lions. See, I'm seeing everybody start to crack. You guys in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, even you guys here. I wish DMAC were here right now. With the Stoke not scared. Yeah, oh yeah. Neal, what's wrong
Scared,
with you?
not stoked.
Yeah. See, at least you're real about it. Is it time, everybody? You're starting to get scared. Spendo's getting concerned. Flannel's getting concerned. Lindsay's out front about it. He's saying it too.
Scared, not
You
stoked.
guys in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, you're getting scared now. 8% of the money being bet on the Super Bowls being bet on your Detroit Lions? That's terrifying.
How you feel about that, Spinmo?
I'm cool with it.
You're terrible. Look at Spen. He's trying. Look at you.
It's a good value. It's plus 2,000. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying you're going to bet on somebody to win the Super Bowl, which is kind of a ridiculous bet.
John Lord, Stoke not scared. Win the no. Win the none. Everything. Winning it all. Winning the Super Bowl. 8% of every Super Bowl bet at BetMGM is bet on the Lions to win the Super Bowl. Everybody, y'all still puffing the chest out now? You're terrified.
Here's the thing, though. Like, when your team is trending up, you know, which how long have it been since the Lions have been trending like they have been trending?
Never. 92 after the 91 season.
Right.
When John Madden and Pat Summerall doing that playoff game where they smashed the Cowboys. And I'll never forget it. And I need to get the audio. I got to get a clip of it. Where Pat Summerall says, you'll be seeing a lot of these two teams over the next 10 years. Well, he was half right.
So
that's the last time.
But here's my thing, though. Like, let's just go for it. Like, why not embrace it? Embrace the fact that you guys are even talked about being a Super Bowl team. I'm running with it. I'm like, we winning the Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says. Right? Spinmo?
Yeah.
But you just said you don't think it.
I mean, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, so he's scared. So there you go. You're
That's
scared.
not scared.
No, you're scared. That's what I was told. I'm scared if I don't believe. So you don't believe it either.
My expectations were NFC North champion and a playoff win. That doesn't equate to, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, I was told Stoke not scared.
It is Stoke not scared. It's realistically Stoke not scared.
Here's the reality. You guys have been punished for so long that you can't sit here and honestly believe your team has a chance to win the Super Bowl because of the past abuse. And I'm watching Spinmo's like,
yes, Mr. Hunter, that is me. You just described me, Mr. Hunter.
Spinmo's like, yeah, I believe we got to win this. No, Spinmo, go all in.
I mean, they're a Super Bowl contender if they win the NFC North.
I don't want to hear that, Spinmo. I want you to say, no, we're Super Bowl contenders regardless.
They are Super Bowl contenders.
Okay.
Regardless.
I had to talk you into that.
See, this is a comment here that tells me that people are struggling to wrap their head around this, right? Honolulu Blue Sparty says, Neal, what percent of that money is Detroit fans? Honolulu Blue Sparty, it's 8% of everybody that bets on someone to win the Super Bowl at MGM. Everybody. Not just Detroit. Everybody around the country.
Hey, yo!
So
Almost 1 in 10 bets are on the Lions to win the Super Bowl. The Lions.
Desmond Moore says, Lindsay, are you scared the Lions might leapfrog your 49ers? Desmond, I think we're going to win the Super Bowl every year, okay? So my train of thought is totally different. I'm thinking Super Bowl or bust. That's how I think.
They've busted about 27 years in a row then, just for the record.
Well, you've busted for an eternity.
That's fair.
So don't compare that.
That's fair.
Okay? At least we've been there.
Yes. No, I understand. I'm just saying, for being such
and every year we're on the cusp, right?
Yeah.
So let's not. There's a difference. There's a different thing being a contender and a pretender. But you guys are moving beyond the pretender stage, and you're becoming relevant.
Absolutely.
So when you're becoming relevant, you have to believe. And I know you haven't seen it, so it's hard to understand something that you have never seen before, right? You have never felt what it's like to be a winner. So that's hard. That's a concept you guys are slowly falling into. But let me help you. If you never believe it, you will never achieve it. So you guys will be sitting here, Stoke not scared. Dang. Stoke not scared. No, scared. I'm stoked. And, it'll just go crazy.
Stoke
so
not
just
scared.
believe it.
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared.
Jack Harrington says, if the Lions are a Super Bowl contender, the NFC truly sucks. So now we're going into See, look at Jack. Now we're going into rationalizations
The
now.
NFC does suck.
That's how I know. See, old Neal Ruhl won this one. It took a minute. But now you guys are cracking too.
No, the NFC does suck.
Oh, man.
Okay, so call it.
Yeah, they're a Super Bowl contender.
Call it.
They're a Super Bowl contender. Yes.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, I'm not fucking calling that. Like, what?
Come on, why are you scared to say it?
Guys, I don't believe it. I'm not going to say they're going to go win the Super Bowl. They are a Super Bowl contender, yes. I'm not saying, they're going to win the Super Bowl after a 9-win season. That's fucking lunacy.
I want a new chant. Scared, not stoked.
Yeah.
Scared, not
There's a
stoked.
difference between scared and stoked and delusional. You can't say they're going to win the Super Bowl after a 9-win season when they haven't won a playoff game in 30 years.
Hey, did you see the pain? Did you see the pain that came out of that with Spinmo? That was pure pain. The fact that they have been so bad for so long that he can't embrace the fact that they're going to be good. Or people are picking them to win the Super Bowl. That's pure pain. I feel sorry for you guys. I really do. I feel so bad the fact that you guys don't know what it's like to be on the other side. Like,
we can't even
We
bring
had
ourselves
3
to believe
wins
it.
2 years ago. What is this?
See, the truth's coming out. You see?
It's coming out.
No,
It's
you
up.
could be scared.
Exercise
You could be
those
stoked,
demons.
not scared, and still be realistic. You
Exercise
don't go
those
from 3
demons,
wins
Spinmo.
to a Super Bowl in 2 years.
Exercise those demons. I love it. It's coming out. We got to get it all out.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Philip C. Old Uncle Neal is right. Philip C. Old Uncle Neal's always right. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, always going to end up being right. Dave Swaniger, 1 playoff win ever. Prove you can win a damn playoff game. 1. See, like everybody now. Where's the Stoke? Hey, WoodwardSports.com. Get your Stoke Not Scared T-shirt.
They're going to win a playoff game.
I expect us to sell 1,000 of them.
I'll tell you that right now. They're going to win a playoff game. They're going to win the NFC North. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Super Bowl. That is a huge leap
you're scared,
from
not
winning one. No, I'm fucking stoked. Realistically stoked. Did you think they're gonna win the Super Bowl last year at the end of the season? No, it's not realistic. Saying they'll take a step from last year, which would be winning their division and winning a playoff game is different. Last year,
I didn't say I'm stoked, not scared either.
Yeah, but this year, you could be stoked, not scared for a realistic, attainable goal, like winning the NFC North and winning a Super Bowl.
Once you say realistic,
one thing they've never
goal,
done in franchise history, and another thing they haven't done in 30 years.
Okay, then maybe we should change the T-shirts to say realistic expectations, not scared.
Fine, do it. Is that so bad to be like, yeah, they're going to win a playoff game? No, that's not enough.
All I'm saying is
being unrealistic. It's saying a playoff win in a division championship isn't enough. You have to think they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's being ludicrous.
But then don't come at me for saying, oh, stoked, not scared. Neal, you're being scared. Yeah, I am. Yeah, because I'm not comfortable with this.
If you're not comfortable with them winning a playoff game, that's being scared.
No, I'm not comfortable with 10% of the bets being on the Lions to win the Super Bowl. That's absurd.
That's money, man. That's betting. That's what happens.
It's absurd.
Man, it pains my heart to see you guys not just fully embrace the fact that you guys may be able to win the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I just said they are a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not going to... They're winning the Super Bowl. I'm not planting the flag.
No, Spinmo. No, listen to me. You said it, but you don't believe it.
I do believe they're a Super Bowl contender.
So you believe they can win the Super Bowl?
Yes. If they get there, they can win the Super Bowl.
Well, then be stoked.
I'm not saying they are winning the Super Bowl, planting the flag.
Flannel, what do you think?
I agree with Spencer. I think you can.
Also, we're all just gonna. Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying you don't have to say we are winning the Super Bowl.
No, we never said that. We just said believe, show some conviction. Like, hey, I know my team has been garbage for the last for existence. But we're going to believe in this team, turn this thing around, and we're going to get to the Super Bowl. We're going to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, I believe they'll win one with Brad Holmes as their GM. Maybe not next year, but I've repeatedly said that if you win your division.
So we'll come out with another T-shirt for that. Say, I believe we'll win one eventually, not scared.
I'm on Spencer's side of this one. It's not just one or the other. There's nuance to this. It's not just, God, you don't believe in the Lions if you don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Another new T-shirt. Eventually, we'll get one. Not scared.
We're not saying you're sitting here going, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're just saying, just have some belief.
I believe they will be a top 3 team in the NFC next year. I believe they have all the chances in the world to win the NFC next year, and if you get in the dance, you have a chance to win it.
Okay, Emerald Eyes has a T-shirt for Spenny then. Stoked adjacent, not scared. So there is that one. I'll tell you who's worshiping at an altar, though. Louis Riddick, man, is worshiping at the Lions altar. D-Mac.
Yeah, but he's always, if I was going to say, wouldn't you, out of the national pundits or the NFL luminaries that talk sports, he's always been down with the Lions in this regime for sort of since day one, and not like over the top, but hey, I can see what they're trying to build here. Hey, watch out for the Lions. He's always sort of had the Lions in the back pocket. Right now, he went all in, even more all in, than anything. But coming from him, I feel I have the same feelings. He's stoked, not scared. We got to send him a shirt. Let's send Louis Riddick a shirt. Stoked, not scared.
Well,
he's definitely stoked.
We have that, right? The sweet Louis Riddick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's run that for the people. For those that did not see what Louis Riddick had to say, he was in the street simping. There is no doubt about it.
You're already
I got it.
in on something.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'll set this up by saying this. I said this in January. Okay.
I like it.
Right after they were done, like, mopping Lambeau with the Packers. It was Detroit. Rich,
they mopped.
This team,
they mopped.
has got it going on. And I know people are going to say, what? They drafted Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell in the first round. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah, they do. And but they have a top 3 offensive line in all football. In all football. They have a quarterback who some people are sitting there going, did Sean get that wrong? Not to say that that Matthew wasn't great out there and they won a Super Bowl with him, but Jared Goff is no throwaway. Clearly. They have the future in Hendon Hooker. So that room just got stronger. At wide receiver, I understand that now, you're going to have some issues with depth, at least for the beginning of the season, with Jamison Williams' situation. But Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, these guys, they can hold it down. They'll be just fine. Sam Laporta, who they drafted out of Iowa, I got to see him in person this past year. He's going to be one of those guys who you wind up going, another Iowa tight end that's that's up for all rookie and maybe a reserve Pro Bowler. Shocking. We've never seen that happen before out of Iowa tight end. And Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, forget it. That's one of the best one. You can put that up against any 1-2 punch of running backs in the NFL. Jahmyr Gibbs is a freaking superstar.
Lewis, I heard coming out of.
And that was Louis Riddick on the Rich Eisen show. He was passionate, man. He was passionate.
But I agree with Mark Walton here. Thanks for checking in. He's stating the obvious. Stating the obvious. It's nothing that I can't see.
But you know what, though? At the end there, when he dropped that about the backfield, to say that Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery are as good as any backfield in the National Football League. And this is a guy that does this for a living, man. This is a guy that was in the running for GM jobs. Doesn't necessarily mean that he would have been a good GM or anything like that. But there was conviction. You know how when you can hear somebody, the way they talk, whether or not you believe them, just the way they talk.
Absolutely, yeah.
I believe that man when he says that.
No, absolutely, and it's thunder and lightning. It's set up to that way. Everything that he said, it's great because I guess at that level, for whatever, if you take Louis Riddick and it's the compassion and how he speaks, he's not speaking out of his ass. This is his truth. I like his truth. I'm waiting to see it, but yeah. Could you imagine that? But when you look down at David Montgomery and what he's done in this league and the type of runner he's going to be, and then Jahmyr Gibbs with the speed and what he's done in college out of the backfield, this is a great 1-2 combination. And from what Louis Riddick is saying, and he's answering my questions, well, it sounds like we've upgraded from DeAndre Swift. I'm looking for, availability, durability, but what he says right there about your backfield, especially running behind this offensive line that's supposed to be tops in the league.
Look, you guys know, you talk about Louis Riddick being a Lion simp for a long time. I'm a simp for Brad Holmes, and I'm a super simp for this offensive line. I've been on this, kind of since the beginning with Sewell and all that stuff. You guys know, Penei Sewell is my Lion. He's the guy that changed all this, that put this in a different direction. Have I sold the Lions' backfield short? And look,
to yourself.
Well, I haven't heard that.
We haven't seen it. That's the problem. These are two new guys. One that's a free agent. One that's drafted that have not been in the uniform on the field yet. So all the skepticism can be, you might as well play them on Madden. Because you're going to get more out of it till you see it. And obviously, no, how can you not be? And I said this the other day. I don't care about OTAs and guys being out there or not. Take care, but you didn't even get any film on Jahmyr Gibbs at OTAs. So again, no, you're not selling it short. It's just put it in the back because Louis Riddick said this before. You're going to be watching it. I guess it's on your radar now, Neal, as far as one of the things that you are going to look forward when training camp comes around. Is there this yin and yang out of the backfield? Is it what Louis Riddick said it? Can I see it coming to fruition?
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Alex Merrill says, I'm about to be bricked for months again. This isn't good for my health.
It's okay. That's what it is. The NFL's got to reload because they can't keep everybody bricked for health reasons for 365 days. So it's actually the health concern.
About to sign a sponsorship deal with Viagra or something like that, But I wonder, are we giving the backfield enough credit? And that's why I'm kind of double clutching with myself, Spenmo, because you and I, big Montgomery guys, always have been. if it stands to reason, because I believe they have one of the elite offensive lines in the league.
Yes.
And if I'm a big Montgomery guy, and to some, they ran up there to put their draft card in for Gibbs, doesn't it stand to reason that by default they're going to have a very, very good running game? Have we failed, Spenmo? Have we failed to acknowledge how good the backfield is?
I think it's not getting enough credit because it's like you saw what Jamal Williams did behind this offensive line.
With no, and I'll use a Sam Flannel line, with no data to support it.
Yeah.
Previously.
A career backup, a guy who's never had that kind of volume in his career, goes a goal line back, a short yardage back, goes for 1,000 yards and breaks Barry Sanders' touchdown record. Now you've got a guy in David Montgomery that's been over 1,000 all-purpose yards every year of his career, 4 straight years. So I think it's an upgrade, to say the least.
Yeah, maybe I failed, Sam. Did I fail, Sam Flannel? Did I miss an opportunity?
No, I don't think you failed. I mean, the thing is, Jahmyr Gibbs is still unproven. I think some of us, not necessarily saying me, some of us are still skeptical that he was the number 12 pick overall, although the Lions did get compensated. But it's the ceiling for this backfield, David Montgomery is obviously proven, is one of the best backfields in the NFL. David Montgomery is an upgrade over Jamal Williams, and I believe Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be an upgrade over DeAndre Swift, and this offensive line pretty much stayed intact. So it could be one of the elite running games in the NFL. It could be. It's very possible.
Brandon Katz says Aaron Jones is number 1, Dalvin Cook is number 2. The number 2 running backs, if they're number 2 in a division, they don't get cut.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be cut. Because the value of the cap savings that they will get is more to them than the value of him maybe being on the field. That's factual, dude, because that's going down for real. That's how it's going to shake out. So I'm not entertaining that as a viable thought. We know what Montgomery is parlayed with this offensive line now. And yeah, both things can be true, I suppose. Montgomery is good, but this offensive line is very, very good too. And I think Jamal Williams proved that last year. That it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as you think who's behind that line. It doesn't. Now, maybe does that denigrate the value of Jahmyr Gibbs? Maybe, if that's the way that you want to read it. But also remember this too. Jahmyr Gibbs is here not because he's a bruising running back. He'll be deployed.
It's a weapon.
Yeah. He's going to be what Swift should have been. Lined out wide. Mm-hmm. Can give the ball to him. Yeah, he can run it between the tackles. Yeah, he can bounce it outside. He's a factor in the passing game. He's going to catch 50, 60 passes minimum this year.
Yeah.
Minimum. So, maybe Louis Riddick, D-Mac opened my eyes to something there that I hadn't previously thought about. So, you know what? Good on him.
But all the thing right now is, aren't you just listening to some of the guys that you listen to for their point of views, no matter where it is around the league, no matter what platform, for things to look forward to look for, right? Things that people are talking about. I mean, isn't it apropos and go towards and reiterate about your Brad Holmes symptom and Dan Campbell and that they're doing it the right way? What they're building now. This is all on paper, and I get it. But when you look at it on paper, and if you take Louis Riddick's opinion, right? I like it. I have the same view, and maybe it's to the point that we didn't realize because Neal, we want to be, I guess, a little more tempered and act like the Papa Bowl instead of the Baby Bowl, running around going, hey, we're here, look at this. And just cruising down and waiting and seeing. But to your point, maybe we have been underselling our backfield.
Yeah, I believe I have. I'll raise my hand and say
here's
that I'm
the whole
guilty.
thing. This is the big thing about the backfield. Availability. Right? Jahmyr Gibbs,
that's the only ability in question.
David Montgomery plays hard, misses games. It's the availability that you have to have. If those two are available the whole season, we win the North. There it is.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G says, is Neal wearing a Maine Black Bear shirt? No, I'll be doing college baseball featuring a team that, beat Michigan in college baseball this year. That would be the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. 2:30 ESPN Plus, by the way, if you want to tap in, if you're bumping around the ESPN Plus app or whatever, go ahead and tap in for that. I'll have that action for you. Just teams that, just a team that beat Michigan in baseball. There were a lot of teams that beat Michigan in baseball this year, Sam Flannel.
Yep. A lot of teams that beat Oakland, too.
Yep. But a lot of teams that beat Michigan
That's true.
with 11 times the budget.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Many things can be.